As we have a quorum, I will call to order the Land Clearance Redevelopment Authority of the City of St. Louis for its regularly scheduled meeting held on Tuesday, April 23, 2024. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Koenig, not present. Commissioner Anderson, not present. Commissioner Spencer,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Chair McBride.
Present.
And we have a quorum with 3 present and 2 absent.
Thank you. At this time, I would take up the approval of the minutes for a meeting held on March 26, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Probably moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Now I'll take up resolution 24 LCRA 10847 relating to designating 4949 Development Company as a redeveloper. Zach, you gonna walk us through that?
Yes, sir. Yes, this resolution is designating 4949 Developer Company LLC as the redeveloper of the area of 4923 through 4949 Dr. Martin Luther King. This board passed the resolution last year, blighting this area and allowing for eminent domain on the one parcel east of this property that you see in the picture. Since this redevelopment plan was passed by the Board of Aldermen by ordinance 71719, the Sweetie Pies is in the process of purchasing the property that has been vacant for a very long time, and then the possible use of eminent domain was allowed for that location, but they've come to terms with that property. Now they're redeveloping the old Dollar General that you see in the picture and the site next door to it for a little over $3.7 million. We're allowing it for 10 years at 95%. It scored well on multiple levels of the community scorecard and the financial scorecard. It scored 47 on scores on tier 2, but we're allowing for 10 years at 95%. So we did invite Miss Robbie Montgomery and Mr. Bussey, but I don't believe they're online. But the project is proceeding, so that's why we're designating developer today. So be happy to answer any questions.
And so what they're developing both the Dollar General and a new construction, or what's the intended use of
the building that was east of this, they're renovating that building also. They had the roof caving in. It was purchased by LRA a few years ago, but the property owner never really did any upkeep on the building. So they have bought that building additionally with the Dollar General building. Last time we presented this area to you, one building was in control of Sweetie Pies, the other building was controlled by a different property owner that was not responsive to selling the property, and has been cited numerous times for code violations and not keeping the building up. So, but now he has sold that building, or is in the process of selling that building to Sweetie Pies, and there'll be an event space, and the main Dollar General building will be the main restaurant. So.
All right, any questions for Zach on this resolution?
Zach, what's the status on the financing, and do they have a schedule yet?
No, not yet, but I will provide that to you hopefully by the next meeting. But this will allow us to enter in a redevelopment agreement with them and get more details as we delve into that.
Thank you, Zach. Unless there are any other questions for Zach, we'll take up the community benefits scorecard. Andrew? All right, Andrew, take us through there.
All right, so as Zach, as Zach said, we scored a 47, puts in tier 2. So the site's located in EGI index area 2, so nearing the top of that list, 20 points for that. Expected 25 FTE jobs to work at the restaurant, so 7 points for job creation. As we know, MWBE owner and operator, 5 points for that. It's a vacant historic building. 5 points for each of those categories. It is near a bus stop, 5 points for that. And the total capital investment isn't massive, but there is 4 points that the project gets for that. So a total of 47. It's a good project in an area that needs it, a building that needs it, and support a business that, you know, we all care about.
All right, any questions for Andrew on the community benefits scorecard?
Andrew, I've just got a couple of questions, maybe a point of clarification. Number one, there isn't a neighborhood plan or a visioning plan in this area at this point.
Right.
Okay. And on the community benefits contribution, could you maybe give us a little bit more of a background on what you're looking at for scoring on those points?
Yeah, so that's a category that I don't think we've officially used yet, but is reserved for you know, there's been a few examples of like contributions to the affordable housing trust or things like that. So that's kind of a category to capture, you know, a thing that gets negotiated.
That makes sense. And then, so there was an LRA property, but it was owned by somebody else. Did I mishear that before? They weren't. Okay.
Correct. That was it was previous an LRA property on MLK that a gentleman bought, but he did not do what he would promise, and that's what they're purchasing currently.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else for Andrew? Thank you. Then we'll turn to Jake for what's now termed, I see, the economic analysis, which I think is a better name, if that's the name going forward.
Yeah, I think so. And just a little preview, this will be changing a little bit with projects moving forward and kind of this continued effort to be more transparent. So this is a project that we originally presented, I believe, last summer. I think it was last June, maybe even May. But moving forward with projects, we'll have these revenue impacts for the city and school districts that you're used to seeing. But now we're going to start quantifying the revenue impacts to the other 9 taxing districts as well. But for this one, obviously it scores well from a financial perspective. The site's currently vacant and underutilized. We projected 10-year fiscal impact to the city of about $180,000, increasing to $423,000 over 20 years, and 10-year impact to school districts of a little under $19,000, increasing to $122,000 over 20 years. The reason you kind of see that discrepancy between city and school district here, typically the numbers for school districts are larger because they are the largest recipient from a taxing perspective of property taxes. But with the restaurant, you're getting the substantial increase in property taxes, but this is also capturing all of the sales tax on food, event space, payroll and earnings taxes on new jobs, et cetera, et cetera.
Very good. Oh, I'd like to know for the record that Commissioner Koenig is pulled in, and we are on the first resolution, 24 LCRA 10847.
Thank you. Sorry.
That happens, no worries. Any questions for Jake on the economic analysis? As with the goal of these processes, you can see from the graph that it pretty quickly comes up and starts to exceed the baseline from which property is now, and that's the whole purpose of incentivizing businesses such as this. But if there are no further questions for Jay, then we'll go back to the text of the core resolution.
Chairman McBride, just one question. If we're
Go
going
ahead.
forward, we're kind of changing the way that, we're all looking at it. Was there any discussion about separating just the property taxes instead of lumping it all together? Maybe that's what you were talking about before, because that's the question that a lot of people, kind of get some misunderstanding around.
Yeah.
So it might give a little bit more clarity there.
For sure, yeah. And I think I don't have the slide in front of me for this project in particular because we presented it before, but we've kind of made an effort to isolate just the property tax number as well. I believe that is included in our packet that we're creating for the Board of Aldermen now, and I make an effort to call it out during these meetings as well. And I apologize if I've forgotten. It does get a little bit murky because there's kind of a lot of things we're talking about. There's a property tax number. And then when we talk about revenue for the city, that is just the city's general fund portion of the property taxes, which could be a little confusing. And then revenue for the school district as well, which is a larger portion of property taxes. And I think sometimes when we think revenue to the city, we think of that top line property tax number. But when I say property tax revenue to the city, we're really just saying the general fund number, which is about 20% of the property tax bill. So yeah, I think we can certainly be more explicit about that. And I think we're attempting to with these presentations as well as the board packets as well.
Yeah. And Jake, what I'm seeing over the last several years of being on the board is that now we're not going, straight to a 90 or 95%. This is an example of maybe one or two that we've been able to get up to that 90, 95% because of the geographic area. But when you're looking at a 75% tax abatement, that 25% is based on the improvements up front. That's a really big number. And I just want to make sure that is stated or clear that, you're getting a real bump at the beginning, and then you're also getting that long-term gain down the line.
For sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, for no further questions or comments on this, then I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 LCRA 10847.
So moved. Request for previous rule.
Second.
When properly moved and seconded, we need to object to the request for previous roles. We have Commissioner Koenig who's joined us, but we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye,
Motion passes without voting yes.
thank you. And now we'll take up resolution 24 LCRA 10848 relating to an amendment to agreement for engineering services at 400 North 6th Street. Rob, are you going to walk us through that?
I am going to do that. Can you hear me okay?
We are, yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here presenting resolution 24 LCRA 10848. This resolution authorizes an amendment to an existing agreement with CDG engineers who are providing structural engineering services for LCRA's East Garage at 400 North 6. Previously, resolution 23 LCRA 10788 authorized LCRA to enter into an agreement with CDG to do structural engineering, evaluation, and repair plans for the garage. That contract was for an amount up to $225,000. Previously, there was an amendment, supplemental agreement number 1, that did not increase the dollar amount, but shuffled some things around. We added scope of work to assist, have CDG assist us with the bid process, which they did. And so some monies were moved from the construction oversight budget over to that scope of work. We are here seeking a second amendment for an amount not to exceed $192,130. This additional proposal is to do additional investigations of other areas that are suspect in the garage. It's also to extend, we thought initially the construction of the repairs may be a 4 to 5 month period. The contractor is needing more like 8 to 9 months. So it extends the length of the contract to allow and accommodate that additional construction oversight. And we have here in the meeting Tyler Roxby and Tim Nugent from CDG to answer any questions about this project.
Thank you, Rob. Let's see, Mr. Nugent, Mr. Roxby, do you have anything more to add to this presentation?
The only comment that I'll add is the initial contract that was executed for the repairs that are currently under construction covered in the vicinity of maybe 12 to 15% of the overall area of the parking structure in areas that had previously been identified as the most critical areas to have repairs undertaken. And as Rob mentioned, this is to do some additional investigation of remaining portions of the structure, including some that have come to our attention through ongoing contractor. I guess they do like a monthly or bi-monthly knockdown. Some areas that are high priority that are exhibiting structural deterioration, and then to evaluate other areas of the structure to determine, what else needs to be done in the structure. Some that could be constructed sooner, some that might help prioritize for potential future projects.
And so is this amendment to do further investigation, or is this to complete repairs, the final repairs that are needed?
So part of it is to extend, as Rob mentioned, the construction duration that was originally estimated at 4 to 5 months out to the 8 to 9 months that the current contractor has indicated will be needed to complete the repairs that were in that initial repair plan package for that 12 to 15% of the garage that's being repaired now. So that's part of that supplemental agreement. The balance of it is to identify, to go through the rest of the structure, look at some of those areas that have previously been identified as high priority, develop repair plans for those, and then see kind of what else we have, if we have other high priority areas, or help prioritize what may need to be done over a period of time, so that LCRA can fully understand, the future plans for this structure to fully restore it.
So this not to, so Mr. Nugent, just so I'm clear, that not this extension of the contract is not to do a full and final repairs. There may be something else further that comes before this board.
There could be in the future, depending on what is determined from those investigations. If we find areas that are in need of attention but may be able to wait, over a period of time, those could be part of a future repair plan that could be put together by CDG or by others for future bidding and construction. So this would not be the full engineering that would be needed to necessarily repair 100% of this structure.
Gotcha. I recognize Mr. Orr's hand.
Yeah, I just want to add to that point. We would be doing this at some point in the future, whether it's, next year or the year after. And it makes sense to do it now. We've got the engineers engaged. They're very familiar with the structure. They're involved with overseeing the construction work that's happening. We have a contractor on site. If there's some low cost items that make sense to make those improvements now with the change order through the contractor, we'll bring that forward at a future date. So I just basically wanted to point out, we did save some money. I don't remember exactly how much under the construction bid was from the estimated cost. Tim, I don't know, do you recall that number?
The construction bid was, I think, just under $2 million. And I think the original estimate was I think it was a little bit under 4 million.
Yeah, so my thought is that it makes sense to get this work done now. Let's bring the garage back into as full of repair as we possibly can, given that we've got a tenant that leases almost the entire garage, and we've had some issues over the last couple of years. So we think this is a good opportunity to move this forward and undertake this work at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I just want to sensitize everyone that we don't know if this is going to be the end of the road on this particular project or not. We just have to see what CDG finds in its further investigations. Would that be accurate, Mr. Nugent?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And does I assume Mr. Rockby doesn't have anything to add, but I do want to recognize you if you do.
No, I think Tim covered it. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions from the commissioners? I see Commissioner Spencer's hand.
Could you give us just a little bit of background on how the repairs are going to date? And is the tenant happy with the way that they're able to access the facility, and we keeping them happy?
Sure. So I can speak to that. So we do have a monthly call with Stiefel and with St. Louis Parking Consultants and Western Specialty Construction Services, who's the contractor, is participating in those. And our last meeting was last week, and we provided an update to Stiefel. They have brought a couple issues forward where they were having some issues with, I guess, some of their folks understanding the traffic restrictions, the kind of rerouting and stuff inside the garage as these repairs are being staged. And also they were having some complaints of dust and stuff on their vehicles. And the contractor's been very responsive to make some changes to tighten up their enclosure around their work areas and to do things to help clarify the traffic marking. And at the last call with Stiefel leadership, they acknowledged that those steps have been taken, that they aren't really they're not getting complaints in writing. They might get a few comments in passing, but they've noticed a substantial improvement. They think things are going along really well. So Stiefel, who is that tenant that Rob mentioned that's leasing 90%, seems to be pretty satisfied with what's been accomplished. We're almost 3 months into the construction. We started on around January 25th. And based on where we are now, there are repairs in 8 different areas of the garage, and we're about 30% done. Calendar wise and progress wise, we're tracking pretty much on schedule. We also appear to be tracking reasonably close to the construction, the bid cost, the items that were estimated for those repairs. So, we're not seeing any big surprises that we're going to get to the finish line in a different place from where we estimated it at the outset after this was bid and priced by the contractor. And we're watching that as we progress, but things are generally proceeding on schedule and within that established budget.
Thank you, because when you said it was an extended timeline, I thought maybe that budget might be getting extended too. So that is really good to report to this board. Thank you for your work, and thanks for managing and helping with the project. I think I share Chairman McBride's thoughts on, if we've got people staged and they know the building and there's some other repairs, the one thing we don't want to do is just continue to kick it down the line and have to put it on somebody else's plate to fix later. So I think you guys are taking a very smart approach to this.
Very good. Any other questions on this resolution? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 LCRA 10848.
So moved, Spencer.
I second.
And properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Now we'll take up resolution 24 LCRA 10849 relating to issuance of taxable industrial revenue bonds. Zach, are you walking us through that, or is someone else?
No, I will be walking through that. Just an intro for that, then pass off to Mark Sparkman. The next two resolutions are the second step in the construction sales tax incentive piece. Both these next two resolutions have been from the board before to be designated developer. This second resolution that's in front of you is authorizing the issues of the bonds. Just a reminder of what this project is one of the phases of the McCormick-Barron project that's producing over 500 residential units in the area that's bounded by 14th, Cass, O'Fallon, and Hogan Street. We're allowing for 15 years of abatement at 75%. This project, phase 4, is about 91 units. It's a little over $19 million. Mark Spikerman will go in greater detail on the details of this issuance. Mark, you there?
He is,
Yes,
and he's unmuted. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Zach. Yes, this project has been offered sales tax exemption on construction materials for phase 4, as well as phase 5, but phase 5 will be a separate resolution in the future. Pertaining to phase 4, it's our standard document set involving a leaseback transaction. The bonds are special limited obligations. They are payable only from lease revenues. They are not payable from any sales taxes or other taxes of the city. And the developer will be required to report its data regarding the use of that, so we can continue to collect data points. Happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions for Mr. Sparkman on this resolution? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 LCRA 10849.
I
So
so
move.
move.
Request. Sorry, Lori, go over.
I so move. Koenig.
Second, request for previous rule, Spencer.
Moved and seconded the request for previous rule. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. Now we'll take up resolution 24 LCRA 10850 relating to Edison Lofts downtown.
Yes, this resolution is the second step in the industrial construction sales tax incentive. This we were designate. Let me give the right name before I proceed. 14th Street Hotel Project. I misplaced the LLC. I apologize. But this Edison STL Downtown LLC. Thank you. I failed my test there, but we designated Edison STL Downtown LLC last month, and this and allowed for construction sales tax to be used on this project. This resolution is authorizing the issues of taxable revenue bonds for this project. Just a brief overview. You probably have memorized this project in your head since the many times you've seen it already. There's 270 hotel rooms, and it's 10 years of abatement at 75%, costing about $35 million. We have Shayla Meehan. Please tell me to pronounce that correctly, Shayla, from Steadfast, speaking on behalf of the developer, and Mark Spikerman to go over the revenue bonds. Just a friendly reminder, the construction sale tax incentive is only really moves the needle on projects over $5 million. That's why you wouldn't see it on a smaller project like Sweetie Pies. Just the fees and everything tied to this incentive doesn't do much for smaller projects. So that's why you see it on projects like McCoy and Barron project we just saw, and this one currently that's in front of us. So I'll pass off to Mark and Shayla.
All right, let's have Mark take it up first.
Thank you. Similar to the last project, these are revenue bonds payable only from leasehold revenues, not from any tax dollars. And they will have the same sort of reporting requirements as the last project. Happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions for Mr. Sparkman on this project? All
I
right,
would just
hearing
have one
none.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What is the timeline for completion of this project? Do you know? For when the hotel will be operational?
I can answer that question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, why don't you just run with it, Ms. Meehan, and you can give some background to everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. The developer is anticipating a 12-month construction timeline and expects to be operational by 2025. And not much to update since last time we were here last month. Shortly after aldermanic approvals, the developers closed on the building in late February and submitted for their demolition permit, and the project's continuing to move along and move ahead. And yeah, we're very excited to get some economic activity and street activation in this area.
Okay, thank you. It's an exciting project, such a high profile building. So thank you.
It is, yes, thank you.
All right, any other questions for Ms. Meehan on this? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 24 LCRA 10850.
I so move.
Second, request previous rule.
And properly moved and seconded with request for previous roles or any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion is approved and the resolution passes. Or motion passes, the resolution is approved. Got those reversed. All right, let me find my agenda here. Then at this time, we would entertain a motion to go into executive session. And Mr. Meyer, would you help us complete the motion on this?
It looks like for today's purposes, we'll be closing to discuss matters involving leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate as provided by section 610.021 sub 2.
Is there such a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Okay, at this time, we would ask that the commissioners close out of Zoom and go to their Google invite for executive session. Do we have anything in open agenda?
Sure.
We do not. Anything from the commissioners in open agenda? Hearing none. The next meeting is scheduled for May 28, 2024. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roughly moved and seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Take care.